and presents. It is a beautiful day out today, so I don't want to spend too much time inside. But what I am going to be doing today, I really would like to make my balms. So I have recently uploaded a video about how I make like massage oil, like liquid oils. It's really easy. Like I don't put too much thought into it really. I just intuitively put the essential oils into my massage oil that I feel in the moment. But as well as making the liquid oils, I also make solid oils like balms that are a bit more sort of dense and rich for like quite dry skin. If you have dry skin, I use it on my hands. It's really good. It's a really nice feel oil, so it's like a bit, say maybe if you want to do a massage but like on the hands, it's nice for that. It is a nice protective balm. It's good to use in the winter because it kind of stays a bit more on your skin. It doesn't like absorb straight away. It kind of sits on the skin. It uses a lot of different like sort of butters and oils, and I don't do it as a business. I don't do it like, you know, it's not a fancy, they're not all fancy jars and fancy packaging. It is, I'm going to show you in a minute. I use all recycled jars. Some of them I don't even bother taking the label off. I just stick a sticky label over the original labels because I have better things to be doing. I want to be outdoors, I want to be living life, so you know I don't put a lot of effort into making them look fancy. Sometimes I gift them to, you know, or exchange them for other things. You know, somebody might give me something and I, instead of, you know, paying money, doing the money transaction thing, I exchange a balm that I feel intuitively guided to give them depending on the oils that's in them. And yeah, so if you want to see how I make my own balms so that you can make your own, so you don't have to buy them, and you can, you know, do the thing at home and you know, recycle your old jars and do the thing, then yeah, stick around. Like I said, I'm going to try and whiz through, and because I don't want to be inside, I want to be outside, I want to be living life and enjoying the beautiful sun. And yeah, so we're going to start. So these are the things I'm going to be using. There's obviously my pot to be melting things down in. I have my jars here that I've recycled, that I've kept, that I've cleaned out. These are the ones that I've been using recently because I knew it was going to be coming up that I wanted to make some balms. They're all different kinds of jars. Some of them, the labels came off quite easily. Some of them they didn't, and I just like, you know, couldn't really be bothered. I'm just going to stick a sticky label over it. It's only for myself, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to look pretty. I'm not that bothered about it looking pretty. Some of these are like little sort of pots that I've kept from different things. These were in some travel bottle things that I've never used. So these gonna have like some little balms in that I'll probably gift to friends. I have my solid butters, I have my liquid oils, I have my essential oils, my different ones. I'm gonna use different ones as it feels right. And that's it. Really, you've seen all the things that I'm gonna use. Like I said, I'm not bothered about them looking pretty. I use them just for myself. So the little ones, I have filled up all these jars with hot water. So I boiled the kettle, I filled them up with hot water, I put the lid on, I've given them a shake. They've already been cleaned out, but this is going to make them, you know, sterile. So what I'm doing now, before I start preparing my ingredients, I'm just emptying out the hot water from all of these little tubs into another tub so I can use that to water some plants. And these are going to sit here and dry naturally on some kitchen roll, so that they're all nice and ready to have the oils put in. So yeah, as you can see, I've just put them on some kitchen roll and I've just I'm just going to leave them to dry naturally. They've had boiling hot water in, they should all be sterile. I'm going to be leaving them to dry naturally as I'm going to be preparing my ingredients so that they should all be nice and ready and dry to put the oils in. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm just going to be cutting up some of the solid oils, the coconut oil. So in this, I will put a little list of the different oils that I've used and the different butters in the main portion of the balm, because what I then do is each individual jar I put different oils in. So it's not just like one batch of the same. The base butter is the same, but then each jar gets its own individual bespoke little set of essential oils, which is quite nice. So I'll put in the description all the different oils that I'm using, because, you know, multiple formats of information is always useful. So I'm going to be just putting them into the pot. The solid butters I'm going to be cutting up so it makes it easier to melt. I don't have exact amounts. I do it intuitively because the amount of oil, like the amount of jars that I make, varies depending on obviously how many jars I have. So it's kind of like a rough ratio. And as I'm going, I'll explain why I put the oils in that I'm using and how much I use. Okay? The first oil I'm going to be using is extra virgin organic coconut oil, and it's such an accessible oil to get hold of in all supermarkets, especially organic and cold pressed. You know, if you can eat it, then it's probably very good to go on your skin, is what I'm going to say. It's such a beneficial oil for skin. It's antimicrobial, it's moisturizing, it promotes healing because it boosts the collagen in your skin. It's good for acne. I would say it's not great if you have eczema. I wouldn't use it on its own for myself because my face can get prone to eczema, especially like here. So I wouldn't just use it straight on its own. I don't mind using it when it's mixed with things. But again, if you have an issue with coconut oil, this is just how I make it. If there's anything in this that your skin doesn't agree with, don't use it. It's that simple. Just leave it out and replace it with something else. I like using coconut oil because it is solid, but it melts at a low temperature. So it doesn't get like, say, cocoa butter it takes a lot of warmth for it to melt. So if you just use straight cocoa butter, it can be quite hard and it takes a while for it to sort of melt into your skin. Hence why I use a mixture of butters and liquid oils. So yeah, the first one I'm going to be using is coconut oil. Judging on the amount of jars that I have, I'm probably going to use half of this. Again, it's like, I'm going to be one of those annoying people. I can't give you a specific, I know some people really like specific amounts, specific ingredients. I don't tend to work that way because I find that quite limiting and restricting. But, you know, if you need exact amounts and exact ingredients, there are so many websites. I'll try and find a few that have exact ingredients for you, and I'll put them in the description box. But there are so many like websites out there and blogs and you know, all the other things where people put the specific amounts and specific ingredients. I like to do it more intuitively. It means that I don't have to have the exact things. And, you know, at the end of the day, the only thing that's really going to get affected by the varying amounts is the solidity of it, like how easily it melts or how liquidy it is, like how hard it is. That's the only thing that's going to get affected. It's not going to be bad for your skin. You're not going to fuck it up. You don't have to eat it, so it doesn't have to taste a certain way. The only thing that you really need to be careful about the amounts that you put in is the essential oils, just because some of them can be quite intense. If you, I'm just standing here holding this. Let me do something while I'm talking. So the only thing really that you need to be careful of is the amount of essential oils that you're putting in, because they can be quite, about half. I'll just put about half of that in there. I suppose I could use this jar as well then, though, couldn't I, if I put all of it in? Yeah, I'm going to use all of this jar, because then I can use this jar. And I don't have to clean this one up, it's literally just been, it's just been opened, so I don't have to clean this one. Yeah, it's the essential oils, just because if you use too much of them in a carrier oil, they can be quite damaging, they're quite intense. They can, you know, just be careful. I will put some stuffs on the bit. And now I'm going to start cutting up my cocoa butter. I'm going to cut it up in little bits, just to make it easier to melt. So this is the cocoa butter that I use. I buy it in bulk because, you know, it's cheaper and I don't have to have as much postage and packaging, and you know, and it just means I've always got it. Oh, it smells like chocolate. so amazing. Anyway, so this company is where I get like a lot of my oils from. They're really good. They're really cheap. This cocoa butter is organic. It is, you know, non-GM. It's natural. Yeah, it's actually pretty cheap. And the actual company is based in England. I'll put a link to this company. I'm not getting, you know, I just like to give people knowledge. You know, there's a lot of information on the internet and a lot of different companies and a lot of different places to source these things from. And there's a lot of information to sift through. And so this is the company that I found worked really well for me. They do essential oils, they do carrier oils, they do butters, they do, you know, soaps and all sorts of natural products. That's where I get my Castile soap from. So yeah, there you go. This is the cocoa butter I'm using. I'm going to chop it up. It comes in a block, so I'm just going to use a knife to just quickly chop it up. Yeah, so it's like really easy. I just cut it like this. I try not to use too much cocoa butter because it is a very hard oil and it does melt at a higher temperature than the shea butter that I use and the coconut oil. So like if you're trying to like sort of, you know, get your fingers in the jar, this does not, it's very hard, and it, like I said, it takes a while for it to melt. So you don't want to use too much of this in like ratioed to the other oils. So this is my little pot. There's my coconut oil. I'm just going to put the cocoa butter in with that. There we go. I'm just going to be cutting up the shea butter now. You don't really need to see me do that because you've just seen me do the cocoa butter. But I'm going to be using a lot more of the shea butter than I did the cocoa butter because, as you can see, this is the shea butter and it's really soft. You can pick it. It's got a lower melting temperature. So it you know, it kind of balances out the hardness of the cocoa butter. And like cocoa butter, shea butter is, you know, really good at moisturising. It's good at creating a barrier on the skin. It's got anti-inflammatory properties. So if you have had damage to your skin, you know, whatever skin you use it on, you know, it's good for wounds, like wound healing as well. So like if, you know, if you want to put some essential oils in there that are good for, you know, which I'll talk about at the end when I put the essential oils in, it's really good to speed up, like to put on like cuts and grazes. It's good for, you know, damage to your skin if you've got like redness, if you, I don't know, if you've been out in the sun too much. Yeah, it's really nice and it feels amazing, like the feeling of it. The only thing that I wouldn't do is, because it is a very dense butter, if you are prone to getting clogged pores, you know, kind of spots because your pores clog easily, don't use it on your face every day or on any parts of your body that tend to clog up. That's it. That's the only thing I wouldn't use it on, is just don't use it every day. Just tend to use it for wound healing, or, you know, if you've been out in the garden and you, I'm just putting it on my hands and it feels so amazing. Yeah, I'm just going to stand here like rubbing the oil into me. I'm not even going to, I need to get going. But yeah, I'm going to start cutting this up now to put that in with the coconut oil and the cocoa butter. Yeah, there you go. So this is roughly how much shea butter I'm going to be using. I'm going to just be putting that into the pan with the other stuffs. I think, yeah, that's all of my solid oils now. And I, you know, I quite like I said, I like using the solid oils. I have massage oils, I would use liquid. You can use this as a massage oil if you want to. It does tend to sit on the skin a lot better, so it's not quite so slippy. You know, if you really wanted to get in and do like a really good sports massage, sometimes liquid oils can like whoop, you tend to go away with yourself. If you want a bit more resistance in your massaging, I would use a solid oil, personally. So I'm just going to start putting in my liquid oils. Don't need loads of them, but it is nice to sort of get it a bit more liquidy, a bit more malleable. I like that word, malleable. So the first one I'm going to use is olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. I know it is quite expensive, so I don't use a lot, but it's such a good like oil to use on your skin. It's great to eat. It's I mean, you can use it as a makeup remover if you use makeup. rather than shitty chemicals. Like it actually is good at cleaning your skin. It's antimicrobial, it's full of vitamin E, it's just such a good oil for your skin. If you can, like, I love it because you can eat it and you can put it on your face and it's just, and you can clean with it. Like this is how they used to clean themselves. Like Romans, Greeks used to cover themselves in olive oil and then just scrape it off, and it would just literally get the dirt off. It was it's amazing. Anyway, so yeah, this is the olive oil. I'm just literally gonna go like that with it. Maybe a bit more. There we go. Because I love it. So the next one I'm going to put in, this is hemp oil. Hemp seed oil is amazing. So I'm just going to put this amount. Yeah, there you go, about that much. So the benefits of hemp seed oil are just like, it's such a good oil. I will put a link in the description box about hemp seed oil because its properties are so numerous that I'm going to struggle to really sort of explain them. It's got like different like vitamin F in it. It's got like essential fatty acids. It's really good at reducing your skin's sebum production, so that will like help reduce acne. It will reduce spots. It's got so many different kinds of properties. It's like anti-aging. It's it's moisturizing. It balances the oil production in your actual skin. It's anti-inflammatory. So again, like with the shea butter, if you've got like damage on your skin from being out in the elements and then in the sun or in the wind and the rain, it's really good at healing. So it's good for a wound, like as a wound balm to put a protective barrier over a wound. It's amazing. It's such an amazing oil. Yeah. So there you go. And now I'm just going to put in grapeseed oil. I'm going to put in about that much. Actually, a little bit more. There you go. So the grapeseed oil, as well as being like a really good carrier oil for massaging, it's anti-aging. It hydrates your skin. I'm trying to think. It's got like essential fatty acids in it. It's got like omega-3 oils. It's got vitamin E in it. It's really great at like, it's anti-inflammatory as well. So again, it'll be really good for wound healing. It's good for, let me just think, what was the essential fatty acids? Oh, sun protection again, like with the coconut oil. It's good for sun protection, so it helps to protect your skin from certain like UVB rays. If you're always outside, I'm just trying to think. Again, I'll put a link in the description. Grapeseed oil. Oh, I love grapeseed oil. It's so good for your skin. And that's it. Now that's the base for all of the for the balms. That's the main base. There are a few other oils that I will put into certain jars, and I will explain that as I'm doing it. As you can see, I have used quite a heavy base. This is really good like pan. It's got a really thick base to it. It's this is on a very, very low heat. So I don't want to overheat the oils. I don't want to damage them in any way. So it's going to be on a very low heat for quite some time. If you don't have a really good pan that's got a very heavy, thick bottom that kind of keeps the oils away from the heat, then use like a bain-marie. So that would be a bowl over warm water, hot water, and do it that way. As you can see, it's now melted. It is not hot. Like I can put my finger in this and it's okay. It's just warmed. It's not like scalding. We don't want to be damaging the oils in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, and that's that. So I am just gonna start filling. I've started filling up 2 of these. I'm just gonna pour in the oil. I'm gonna leave a little bit of space in them for other things, because I'm going to put other ingredients in them. I'm just going to pour into my little one. Yeah. So I'm just making some little ones. These are more like sort of pulse point kind of things, like ones that you can take with you for, if you're feeling stressed, or like nighttime balms that you can put on your temples or your wrist points. For like sleep and stuffs. And I think that might be all I have for, yeah, so I'm not going to need these 2 jars, but I am going to just put some in this one. And that should be, oh yeah, I've got this one too, so I'm going to put some in this one. And this one. Yeah, so I've still got a little bit more. I'm just going to put these into these little ones that I have recycled from like little samples that I've had. And like lip balmy type things that I've had in the past. I bet my arm's just covering everything, isn't it? Okay, so that's all I have in there. As you can see, I had no idea what was going to be, how much this was going to fill. It was a total guess. So I do have a few jars and one little pot left over. So I'm not going to use that. I have 2 jars here that I'm not going to use. I'm just going to turn the camera. So I have my jars. They're all ready to have the essential oils in. And depending on what I'm going to make, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 big ones, and I've got lots of little ones. So my main list that I wanted was damaged skin, bruising, wound healing, sore muscles, that's what 4, 5, 6, and then moon time, and grounding. So depending on what they're going to be used for, depends on what I'm going to be putting in them, and I want to make sure that I know exactly which one is going to be which. So I need to go and get my sticky labels, and I will show you exactly what I'm going to put in these jars in a moment. So the first 2 that I'm not going to show you all of them that I make, just for time purposes, but what I will do is I will show you the 2 that I'm going to add extra liquid oils to, not essential oils. So there is going to be the damaged skin repair one. So that is for, like, you know, you've been out in the elements, you've had sun damage, it's been windy and rainy, and you've been on a hike, and you know you need a barrier skin, like skin barrier cream. This one is really good for yeah, so just like surface damage. Like, I'm not talking about cuts and wounds, I'm talking about skin damage. So castor oil is amazing. So I'm going to put into this jar that you've just watched me fill up. I'm probably going to put maybe a capful. It's quite a thick oil, you don't need a lot of it. I'm going to put, no, actually, looking at that, I'm going to put two capfuls in that of castor oil. It's a very thick oil, but it is very good at repairing skin. And the essential oils that I'm going to put into this one are carrot seed oil, sandalwood oil, clary sage oil, which is here, ylang ylang, and frankincense. So I'm not going to use a lot, like maybe 2 to 3 drops of each. But what I will do, I'll probably put 3 drops of carrot seed oil. 1, 2, 3. And probably, because it's quite an intense smell, carrot seed oil, very intense. And all the other ones, yeah, maybe about 5 drops of the other ones, 5 drops of each one, 3 of the carrot seed. And all of those essential oils are really good at helping your skin if it's been damaged. Like I said, you know, if you've been out in the sun and your shoulders have gotten like burnt, or your face has been battered by the wind, or you know, you might have been out in the garden and your hands are quite dry. It's a really good one for that, especially like the carrot seed oil. That's really good for like balancing out skin tone and redness. So there you go. So I've put all my essential oils in that one, all the ones that are good for skin damage. I have basically just put it in one of the coconut oil jars, as you can see. To mix the oils in, I'm just going to give it a nice little swill, if you will. A swill, if you will. Just to mix all the oils in nicely. I have written myself a nice little label. It is going to go on here. It doesn't have to look pretty because it's for me. I'm going to have it at home. It's, you know, if you wanted to make it nicely for people to make gifts, you could buy the jars and make sure all the jars are identical and make pretty little labels and all the stuffs. But like I said, this is just for me. So this is just so I know what's in it and what it's for. I'm now going to leave that to just set naturally in a normal temperature room. It'll be ready tomorrow. It'll be set tomorrow. And yeah, so that one's for damaged skin. That one has had the extra oil of castor oil in that one. The one that I am about to do is for bruising. So if you've got, like, if you've knocked yourself, I don't know about you, but I am constantly knocking myself, bumping myself, banging into things. I've always got bruises. But you know, sometimes people don't like to have bruises. I mean, it is still damage under the skin. But specifically for bruising, you do not want to be using this on open wounds, because I'm going to put arnica oil in it, which you don't want to use on open wounds, because it does bring the blood to the surface. So obviously if you've got an open wound, you don't want to be bringing the blood to the surface. You don't want to be making it bleed even more. So arnica oil is going to be going into this one. Eucalyptus oil, rosemary, and frankincense. These are all really good essential oils to help with anti-inflammatory, which might be happening under the skin with the bruising. Yeah, so that's what the extra oil I put into that one is arnica, and then the essential oils is going to be eucalyptus, frankincense, and rosemary. I'm now going to crack on with the other jars, and I'm going to tailor those to the different ones. I've got one that I want to do for periods, for moontime, one to rub on your stomach for cramps. I'm going to do one for bites and stings, that's good for soothing skin that, like, it's irritated, so it's not so itchy, so you're not breaking the skin more. I'm going to do a few little ones for like meditative purposes, like sleeping, dreaming, grounding, like sort of relaxation. I'm going to do one for wound healing, that's specifically for helping the skin to, you know, it's going to be for open wounds like cuts and scratches and grazes. It's like antibacterial, so it stops it getting infected. It creates a barrier, and it helps to regenerate skin. It helps the skin to knit together. And I'm also going to do one for sore muscles, which will have essential oils in that are like warming, helps to improve circulation, so it brings the blood to the muscle and helps to get the oxygen flowing. And I will put a little for each in the description box. I will put what oil what the purpose of the oil is, and what essential oils I put in it. Like, so what the purpose of the balm is, the different ones I've made, and what the essential oils are in each one. Obviously, you know, look them up yourself. If there's anything that you can't use, don't just use it because I said use it. Like, look it up, research it. There's a lot of oils here that I use that maybe some people might not have heard of. Again, research them, empower yourself with knowledge. Don't be scared to like use different things or do things yourself or try to make them yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be pretty. You can use old jars. You can leave the label on. You don't have to take ages like scrubbing the old labels off. It doesn't matter. It's as long as the inside of the jar is clean. And the jar lids as well, obviously, you know, that's why I put boiling hot water in and I give them a shake and I let them sit and then I dry them out. Okay, so I'm just about to do my little tubs, my little pots, and I wanted to talk to you quickly about 3 oils that maybe most people or a lot of people don't really consider or contemplate, and they are oils that, I mean, other than mugwort, like these are like some of my favourites. So I did speak in I think one of my videos about Palo Santo essential oil. Oh my gosh, you don't need a lot of it. It smells amazing. It's very sacred. So like maybe if you're about to, I don't know, do some meditation, do some yoga, you know, or you just want to, you might go to church, you might be somebody that engages in religious practices and you want to go to church or, you know, your mosque or your synagogue. This is amazing for bringing you into a sacred space. It's a very sacred tree. It's a very sacred wood. But you know, you don't always want to be burning it. Some people don't like to have smoke around if you're burning the wood. Some people might have respiratory issues where they don't want the smoke. So if you want to have the sacredness of Palo Santo, essential oil, who knew? So there, I'll again link in the description box. In one of these little tubs, like literally probably 3 drops. It's just that one oil in here. So 3 drops, it will be very powerful. Another one that I do like to use, it's very grounding, it's a very heavy, earthy smell, and it's got so many beautiful properties to it, is vetiver. I I like the smell, but only in very small doses. For me, other people might not think this, but when there's too much vetiver, it smells a little bit like cigarette ash, which is nice. I like fires and ash, but you don't want to be smelling of that. So that's a very specific one. You don't want to maybe be going out. It's not like a pretty smell. You're not going to smell pretty, but it will really ground you in if you're feeling too floaty, too anxious, too up in your mind space. If you've got like thoughts, brain running, this will bring you right down. And another one that's very grounding as well is oak moss. Oh my gosh, I was introduced to oak moss essential oil by a beautiful friend. And I was like, I've never heard oak moss essential oil. What? Let me smell. And the only way that I can describe oak moss essential oil is if Gaia was a man, like the green man, like the very earthy masculine traits is oak moss. So like please, like if you have any oil in like if I'm going to have 3 top essential oils, I would say oak moss, mugwort, and Palo Santo are my 3 beauties. Wow, oak moss. It's oak moss and mugwort together. It's like a very balancing. So it's like the mugwort is very feminine and the oak moss is very masculine, and you bring them together and it's just like a yin yang. Okay, so these are the ones that I've made today. These are the ones that I've had enough oils to make with this. I've made a bites and stings, a moontime cramps, damaged skin, bruising, wound healing, sore muscles, grounding, and then there is one with just oak moss, one with just mugwort, and the 5 little pots, they've all got Palo Santo, so they're just Palo Santo, which I'll probably give to friends and, as an exchange as for gifts or for services, whatever. So yeah, those are the ones that I've done. I will show you when they're set and what the consistency is like and how it rubs on the skin. I will say that if you don't have the funds to buy lots of different essential oils, as I said in my other video, that like I haven't gone out and bought these all in one go. This has been over years that I bought these essential oils, and I've gradually built up a stock, bought 1 month or 1 or 2 when I've desired them and felt the need, or like my friend introduced me to oak moss, so I bought an oak moss one. Lavender and tea tree oil are very accessible. You can get them in like pharmacies, you can get them in shops, supermarkets, all kinds of manners of places. I'm not going to name the companies, but they are relatively cheap. You can get them. They work. Tea tree and lavender cover so many bases. They cover like mood, anxiety, relaxation, sleeping, antiseptic, antibacterial, wound healing, bruising, all manner of things. Like if you only have lavender and tea tree in your cupboard, in your stock, that's perfect. That's brilliant. Get one carrier oil and just use it as a massage. I would recommend shea over cocoa, just because it melts easier and it's better. And I think it might be cheaper. And I think that's it, really. If you don't have a big stock, go out and just get little bottles of lavender and tea tree. Cheap, accessible. They are so good for your skin. They're so good. They cover so many bases. Like they are like the essential items really to have it in your witchery kitchen cupboard, your medicine cupboard. As is clove oil. Clove oil is the one that's usually quite accessible. You can usually buy that in pharmacies. That's quite a good, cheap and accessible oil to have. But please, as with anything, use your own discernment. Empower yourself with knowledge. They make great gifts if you want to do it for that purpose. If you just, like me, want to use them for your own benefit, because you don't like to buy cosmetics, you don't like to feed the Babylon capitalist machine, and you want to make bespoke oils that have specific things in that you like where do you ever find like balms with mugwort oil and Palo Santo and oak moss? And I like to make specific ones that resonate with me, and I don't find those in the shops. So I just make my own, DIY it, isn't it? That's the way I like to do it. I'm going to stop yapping now. I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you for joining me and for sharing time and space. And I hope this empowers you to make your own things and, to just mess around with things, explore, have a little adventure with essential oils and balms and massaging. And it's about self-care, really. It's about looking after yourself, filling up your own cup so you have more than enough to give to others. Yeah. I love you very much. I hope you enjoy the sunshine. Woo! And yeah, have a blessed day. Mwah.